Great to have your company on this Friday. Now, this next topic is something we all grapple with, the thought of growing old, slowing down, having more wrinkles. It's something that none of us really look forward to, but in reality, Australians aren't just getting older, we also have one of the highest life expectancies in the world. So it's a positive, it's a tick.
It's a bittersweet news story, isn't it? But our next guest says it's time we start embracing the golden years, encouraging us to think less about ageing and focusing more on living, in his new book, The End of the Old Age. Author and geriatric psychologist Dr. Marc Agronin joins us from Miami. Good morning to you, Doctor. Thank you for joining us. You've researched the concept of ageing for many years. Where did the idea for this book come from?
You know, I've worked with older individuals for the past 25 years, and I've seen how aging gives them the strength to cope and recover from difficult problems. I also see how aging gives them the ability to grow and to thrive. Here, aging is the key. Aging is what gives us the tools to get through these difficult situations and then to move beyond them. We have to get beyond this negative view of aging to a more positive and, frankly, a more accurate view of aging. This is why I wrote The End of Old Age, to really get out that message that aging can be a time of growth and creativity. You know, as you mentioned, Australia has one of the longest life expectancies in the world. All of us are living longer and healthier lifespans. I think it's projected in the next 25 years, almost a quarter of the population in Australia will be 65 or above. So this is a really important message for everyone.
Absolutely. And middle age, as you say, is not what it used to be. Getting old itself has changed dramatically from previous generations. Give us an insight, though, about how ageing is different for Australians, perhaps, who are 50 now as perhaps 50 years ago.
I've seen a really big transformation in the people I work with, and I'm certain this is something that everyone in Australia can see as well. What it means to be 80 and 90 now is very different. People are healthier, they're more actively involved in the whole range of life activities. What's interesting is that for people in their 80s and 90s now, they really didn't have role models when they were younger, but they're pioneers and they're role models for us. So for all of us who are in midlife and aging beyond that, we can look to them as role models, and the bottom line is we have to start now, because the attitudes and the activities we engage in now can have a really profound effect on what aging is like for us. One thing I talk about in the book is how positive attitudes can make a difference, and I cite one study in which literally people with more positive attitudes lived on average about 7 years longer.
Wow. You say that old age is no longer the problem, but it is the solution. Can you elaborate on that for us, please?
If we only look at old age from the perspective of the downside of disease and decline, it's no wonder we see it as a real problem. One thing I really emphasize in the book is that aging brings us strengths. It builds wisdom for us. It gives us a deeper sense of purpose in terms of our lives. Our creativity is heightened as we get older. And so when you put all these factors together, you can see how it really gives us the abilities and growing strengths to make life better as we get older.
Creativity is heightened when we get older. How? Because a lot of music artists and people have their, you know, their purple patch early on in their career, don't they?
It's true. If you look at any type of art, you often see people reach some of the greatest heights when they're in late life. Folk artists is a really good area to look at that, because often the people who are really producing extraordinary art are in their 80s and 90s. But I don't want people to think that creativity is only about being artistic, because all of us become creative as we get older. We use it to solve problems, to engage in new activities. Creativity is something that's open to all of us, and the good news is that aging can really improve it.
Well, as you say, with age does come wisdom, and embracing it is definitely the way to go. The End of Old Age is available to purchase now from hatchet.com.au. Dr. Agronin, lovely to speak to you in wonderful Miami. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, good
He's a nice
advice.
man, isn't he?
He is. He knows what he's talking about on that.